नीचे 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 है इधर से ये कनेक्ट हो जाएगा इससे
ज्वाइन करवाया हुआ है, इसको पहले को ज्वाइन करके चेक करना।
किसी और से करना हो, यूनिवर्सिटी की मेल आईडी से ना।
सही।
ये क्या आ रहा है जैसे करवाऊंगा ये नहीं, अभी नहीं है आपका, किसी और से मैं बातचीत को करूंगा। हम्म
पर्सनल चेक करो। हो गया ये तो यार
ठीक है, भेज दूं।
जी।
यही एंड वाला है।
जी।
सलाम कर दे सभी दूसरा करना शक्ल भी शक्ल सही शक्ल आ गया है तेरा वाला थी वजह किधर है आवाज
Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Assalamualaikum. How are you guys? Sorry. I'm in the remotest area of Pakistan, in Chulistan right now. Dr. Shaukat, where we are? Have you started?
सर अभी स्टार्ट करने लगे हैं.
Okay. Thank God, I'm not late.
Yeah.
Okay, Dr. Fahad, how are you?
Ji, sir, very good. Just we are planning for internship placements of the
ED
students.
साहब है, ED साहब. So this is the internship place for the student. This is LIMS. This is GPI. GPI LIMS. You all know that, and this is the remotest area in the country. And really, this is facing the real threats from climate change. So this is desert. I'm right in the center of the desert, Dr. Fahd. Okay, Dr. Shaukat, you start as you wish according to your program. वो है इधर इसमें गोहीर
सर एक मीटिंग में
साहब
busy-
तशरीफ रखते हैं
अभी मीटिंग में एक बिजी है सर वो.
माशाल्लाह अच्छा जी इसमें है क्या नाम है आका खेल डॉक्टर फाहद नूर जुनेद अमजद उमर वैली उमर good
Yes, sir.
morning
Yeah.
how are you Umar
Thank you. So, what about you?
I'm good thank you very much
Thank
how
you
was
very
your
much.
journey back from Pakistan to Turkey was it good
Yeah. I was very happy to visit you. I'm very
Yes.
happy. Thank you.
Yes. It was very wonderful visit. You have witnessed a lot of the rituals of our marriages, the functions, the events. So it was
Yeah.
very nice. We were very happy that Umar is with us. Thank you very much, Umar, for sparing time.
Thank you.
So, 2 hour difference between Pakistan and time. I think it's 8:40 with you. Yeah. Oh. Dr. Amjad?
Yes.
You are joining us for different parts of the world. I am Varun Sudakyani, captain of the Green Youth Movement AIOE, host for today's international webinar on sustainable future, climate change mitigation and adaptation strategies. It is a privilege to have such a distinguished lineup of experts joining us to share their insights on climate resilience and sustainable development. This webinar is being held under the esteemed patronage of Professor Dr. Nasir Mahmood, Vice Chancellor of AIOU. Before we begin, let's ensure we have a smooth session. A few housekeeping rules. Please mute your microphones when not speaking. You can drop your questions in the chat box and we will address them during the question answer session. Stay engaged and let's make this an interactive and insightful discussion. Now to begin our session on a spiritual note, let's start with the Tilawat-e-Quran. Over to you, sir.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد.
Jazakallah. To formally welcome you all, now I invite Dr. Muhammad Shokat, Department of Agriculture Sciences, AIOJO, to share his thoughts.
Assalamu alaikum. Good morning, everyone. It is with great pleasure and excitement that I welcome you all to first international webinar on sustainable future, climate change mitigation and adaptation strategies, an event that brings together brilliant minds from across the globe. We are truly honored by your presence today. I'd like to extend my sincere gratitude towards Professor Dr. Ishfaq Ahmed, Vice Chancellor Ghazi University, Dera Ghazi Khan. He is leading scientist who is working on climate change aspects in Pakistan. The Dr. Daniel, who is from Brazil, and he is connected with me from 2019, and we are collaborating in different aspects. Then next is Dr. Umar Vanali, my dear friend, and the other national speaker, especially Dr. Tasneem Khalik, Dr. Muhammad Ali, and Dr. Shadab Shokat. In this era of rapid technological advancement and global collaboration, the ability to connect and share knowledge across borders has never been more important. Today, we gather as a diverse community of professionals, researchers, and thought leaders united by a shared passion for this one-day webinar on sustainable future climate change mitigation and adaptation strategies. I hope this webinar would be more than just a discussion. It is a platform for inspiration, learning, and meaningful connections. Our esteemed speakers, experts in their field, will share insights that have the potential to shape the future and spark new ideas. Before we begin, I would like to make to our worthy Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. Nasir Mahmood, and Dean Faculty of Sciences, as well as Chairman of Department of Agricultural Sciences, Professor Dr. Sher Mohammed, for their sports, encouragement, and dedication have made this event possible. Without further ado, let's dive into today's discussion and make the most of this incredible opportunity to learn and grow together. Welcome once again, and let's have an enlightening and productive session. Thank you so much.
Sir, are you here? Sir, चैनल पे इधर नहीं है।
Tasneem Khalik, follow.
अब सर वो ग्रीन है वो रेड हो जाती है.
Now we are moving toward Daniel Abreu from
Hello, Dr. Daniel. Am I audible?
I can hear you now.
Okay, please share your presentation with us. Thank you.
Oh, shit. 1 minute. This moment I have a hard time here because I'm not very familiar with the Microsoft Teams. Oh yeah, I got it. Can you see?
Yeah. Please continue.
Okay. Good morning, Pakistan. Here is almost midnight. I'm in the southwest of United States. And first, I would like to thank so much for this opportunity to be at this webinar. Special thanks for Dr. Muhammad Shakir, Dr. Sher Muhammad. Still remember my great time that I have in Pakistan, and I hope to be back soon. And my presentation, I'm going to talk about mixed crop livestock system. Is a popular strategies in Brazil that we use in order to adapt to the climate change and the mitigation. So today I'm associate professor at the Federal University of Mato Grosso at the Institute of Agriculture Science and Environmental Science. My background is agronomist. I did my agronomy and my undergrad at Federal University of Viçosa and University of Minnesota. And my master's in animal science, and my PhD is animal science and sustainable ag. I did also at Federal University of Viçosa and University of New Hampshire. My research area and expertise is to use and develop agricultural models for sustainable intensification, actually trying to find strategies for sustainable intensified systems in Brazil, especially in the Amazon region. And we also always link the research and extension activities in our university. I'm located in the Midwest of Brazil, in the Mato Grosso state. I can say, it's the third largest state in Brazil, and the only one state that combined three biomes that we have in the south, the wetland, and our savanna and cerrado and the Amazon region. It's one of South America states that has the highest growth rates in terms of GDP. We growing like an average around 10%, and the state leader, the fuel, the feed, fiber, and fuel production, and is the sixth biggest export in Brazil, and has the second hydropower potential. Today, we lead in the biodiesel production. Just to begin, I'm going to tell a little bit about our state. We are the third largest state, as I said, in Brazil. However, we have so low density, demographic density, people starting moving to Mato Grosso. And just to realize the size is like we can combine like Germany, France, and almost the corn belt of United States in our state. And 7% is wetland, the south, 40% is our savanna, and 53% is the Amazon region. You can understand like how heterogeneous can be our ecosystem. And also two concepts really important when we talk about the Amazon ecosystem and the Amazon rainforest. I can say like the jungle. We are in the Amazon ecosystem. It means like 3 states and almost 2 million square miles. And the Amazon rainforest shortest is 70% of the Amazon ecosystem. And other aspects that is really important to mention, um, if you have a farm in Amazon, you have to protect 8% as a native vegetation. You can just use 20% for a crop or livestock activities. If you are in the Cerrados, it's 35%. It's different than here in US that you is not required to have a native forest in your farm. But in Brazil, it's the law, and our farmers, ranchers, and follow up this act. And sometimes people thinking that we deforestate, but if you check this number, 62% of our states is protected by farmers, ranchers, conservation units, and our natives. And Mato Grosso is an important player from South America. We are the largest cattle herd in Brazil, and also soybeans. 30% of the soybeans is coming from Mato Grosso. Corn is a second crop, cotton, sunflower, and also biodiesel, fish and beans is a second crop. And I think today we become again like the second one in sorghum, Milo. And how Mato Grosso become like so huge in terms of production, egg production, or economically rely on agricultural activities. We used to say that we develop and we adapt, we validate technology. If you check, we increased 3 times the area in the last decades. However, we increase our volume, such as like grain, biomass, and meat 4 times. Just to make sure, in cotton, we did 2 times. Our cotton is a second crop. Soybeans used to be the first crop, 3 times. And our cattle as a stocking weight, daily gain 2 times, and 11 times on corn as a second crop. This is possible also because the climate, the soil condition, and so we have increased in the productivity in the last decades more than 100% doing first and second crop. However, we're facing challenge. I have been around the world in meetings, especially here in the US and in the United Kingdom, and sometimes very often they associate our production to deforestation. And it's easy to see this in the news. And we are addressing this agenda. I say that Mato Grosso is one place that has facing a lot of challenge related to more production and also reducing the environment impacts of agricultural activities. But also we having to dealing with to increase our agricultural activities, but also dealing with biodiversity and water sources and also social aspects. We have a subsistence farm and high-end outstanding farmers, but also we have natives, indigenous, and people's conflict of land. And one terms I like this picture, sometimes we asking we mitigate or we adapt. So today we're facing like strategy to increase our efficiency, resilience, and systems that we develop in crop and livestock systems that we can scaling up in order like also to mitigate and to adapt to climate change. To address this agenda, we create this program is international at international level. We have been support from colleagues from the US, from the United Kingdom, and other parts of the world. And we are very, I can say, like comprehensive, multidisciplinary in that way, from soil science, animal science, agronomy, agroecology, and also interact with other areas of knowledge such as computer science, social science, to think as a system is not just one component that as in the system. And also one thing that definitely is really important to our country is to translate science. Sometimes our colleagues, it's like it's, it's often communicate with the science, the academia, to the science environment, but definitely really important for us to connect with our audience, our farmers, ranchers, professionals, and also young and children's kids. So our government, we thinking that with also policy, with the, working with policymakers, we can reach this predicting from 2030 to reduction of carbon emissions around like 43%. And our basic concepts that with technology and conservation, we can achieve sustainability. We have definitely not, we're going to open the border to the native vegetation, especially in Amazon. However, we're going to increase the whole crop, the agriculture in pasture, special degraded pasture, that sometimes can be a reality in some cases in Brazil. That is it's too drastic because it's not viable and also causing a lot of environment issues. So we have been doing, I can say, our farmers, academia, and industry government a very good, outstanding job to convert degraded pasture and to a efficiency, resilient, productive system. This is one important strategy that I'm going to discuss in here. I know this is not new, having been in Pakistan, India, and around the world. It's the crop and livestock integration. I have been doing a lot of literature review, and we have in so many concepts. In my understand, integration crop and livestock is a techniques that for diversifying agroecosystems means like production, land use systems, where like crop and livestock interact and integrate in the same area, can be temporal spatial with succession, that's very common in Brazil, intercropping, crop rotation between annual, perennial crops with livestock in different stages of production, cow-calf, such as cow-calf growing, fatting, and full cycle. So how we actually apply we performance in this integrating cropping system. You used to plant in before, not in October, some places September, and in the end of January harvesting the soybeans, and used to be behind of the combines, the tractors with no tillage, planting and interseed corn. In May and June, sometimes when we harvest in the silage, we harvest as a grain in May and June and lag these animals on the grazing in those areas. And also we have been combined some approach, modeling approach, to integrate all the components with the weather, the solar radiation, temperature, precipitation, wind speed, all the information, the machinery, the tractor, all the equipments, soil, as a physics, chemistry, biology of the soil, economic information, and the component of the plant, the physiology of the plant, such as can be annual or also perennial, the animal, and think as a agroecosystems, all the components, and also include the native vegetation. So we have been modeling these and trying to see how the interaction of the components we can approach for sustainable intensification. Find a lot of strategy, and also always with our information combined with the economic aspect, not just the relate to agronomic or to animal performance, and also the environment issues, always coming together the information. For let our range of farmers, our audience professional, for better planning, organizing, like doing and controlling their farm operation, their range operations. Just to make you guys close to our systems, is this like the no tillage? You see the crop residue in the core, there is the soybeans and combines. This is one area that we is our own farm research in Amazon that after we harvesting the corn. So we come with this interdisciplinary approach and always fix on the components of the soils, all the indicators related to chemistry, physics, and biology of the soil. And so how we can achieve this decarbonization, how we can increase the carbon sequestration in the system, and special, we think one important strategy for mitigation. However, we have to know is still a gap, how combination of crop, of machine operation we can increase. But definitely we believe and we must increase diversity, is bring diversity to the field. So our farmers still sometimes complain about the tree component, the trees, but they are very, how can I say, engaged on crop and livestock, step by step. I like a lot to mention this because for, of course, this coming from our history, the history of domestication plants and animals. We know we almost did not domesticate almost nothing related to the plants, and also just a few, really few animals, special mammals. And it's interesting to check, like, for example, the soybeans coming from China, the corn from Mexico, and used to be those species coming from the places that the soil was high on fertility. And today those crops spread around the world, and especially well adapted also to the tropical areas. And today, one question that we're thinking how we can increase the production of feed, fiber, food, and also dealing with the environment impact of agricultural activities. Definitely. Today, we believe in science-based diversity. Diversity is a key point, and one of the rich things that we have in our world, in our humanity. And we have been lost in diversity, as we well know, and this is one weakness, and definitely that can be a challenge for us in the future. And sometimes it's really important for us to think how we can connect agriculture today to the nature. The problem is not the intensification per se, but the intensification with less diversity. Think about Mayas, Incas, they did great. If you study like deep on those systems, those farmers using biodiversity can for speed the emergency of the principle of developing more sustainable system, high species number, diverse in time and spacing, and definitely they they using local varieties of crop, wild plants, animals. We have so many things that we can learn from them. And today, the specialized system agriculture, we used to say that decoupling this, and we have to recoupling the agriculture with the nature. This is, we think, definitely one's important. We must thinking in that way. So we still have in Brazil monoculturing on the conventional tillage. And you see here is the Amazon region. You know, it's a huge environmental impact. And the soil you can see between the rows, the soil exposes no like cover and a lot of erosion, leaching, denitrification. And also we have a specialized cash crop under no tillage. Used to be sometimes just directly seeding, not a really no tillage system. So that they said like combines go in front and tractors behind, and also from the subsistence level, and also that increase the organic matter of the soil, and also can be see the benefits. We used to say here in the US it has a rangelands, and so these also provide not just like convert the biomass in a healthy protein through the red meat, but also provide important environmental service in some case. And we have the special law cash crop production under no tillage plus cover crop and crop rotations. So it's definitely it's an amazing system. You can see sometimes people thinking that it's just a wheat, but the production, the system is very resilient, and those cover crop does not affect the corn. You know, we can combine this interseed. And also with having the intensive system as a feed yard, a lot of environment impact. The way is to recouple, to change the page and go to integrate systems with grazing, cover crop, not the group, the forage for harvesting as a silage, or the purpose is for let animals grazing and get these under no tillage systems with a no or a whole crop system integrated. So this is the system that we used to have in some places in all of Brazil, and integrate system with a cover crop, cash crop, and the no tillage that we add the trees components. They can be most of the time is eucalypt, but we also use a native trees and also sometimes fruit trees that being very working uh, very good in some cases in also in different regions of Brazil. And also combine different species of animals for grazing, such as goats, sheep, not just cattle. And also we try to represent that things that's very popular on the world, such as alley cropping, tangia systems, orchard, and try to diversify and always integrate different components of the systems. So this is one of our farm researching. They used to have like 30,000 animals, and we planted the trees between the the feedlots and the pens. And so we check like the temperature, how we can increase the animal welfare and also reduce the environmental impacts. So just to see, like quantify those benefits, so therefore we can produce more protein with less input, less nutrients when we let animals grazing, and we improve the nitrogen cycling on the system. And also we see that where we have long-term, mid-term studies, the improvement of the soil carbon sequestration, the soil level at the soil in different regions. And one is interesting study also. Today, we trying to apply just one time the fertilizer on the system. Used to be now we evaluating on the pasture instead of the crop. And so we see when the system is integrated, the production, the energy production, the system as a biomass is almost 30% higher when you measure as equivalent energy on the system. When we just like apply integrate system, the fertilizer just on the forage under grazing conditions. And also we can produce more food with less land compared to conventional systems such as rice on the multiculture. We increase the diversity, trying to better manage the system interseed, so we achieve better results. And also this is a meta-analysis that they identify the important variables that can affect the outcome, such as production. And sees interesting that this study in different regions of the world in 12 crops that they do not observe the negative effect on the crop when you have let animals grazing, especially within dry periods or normal precipitation years. And also, when the soil is loamy soil, we can see that the production is higher, 5% higher than monoculture. And also in the clay and sandy soil used to be the same. It's no different between integrated and unintegrated systems. However, we see that the whole system came with economic productivity and also soil health and water conservation. It's just for you to see how is the most things that affects the crop, the soil thirster, and the occurrence of dry weathers that the most being factors that affect the crop on that system. And also this is interesting. We are very worried about the climate change. The studies was interesting. They evaluating the extensive system, the rotational system, and the crop and livestock integration system, and specialized soybeans production as a monoculture on the system, and trying, of course, modeling the current scenario, and also the two, like one, how can I say, optimist and what pessimist scenario that can increase in higher of the gas emission concentration by 2025. And we come with interesting results that in the, how can I say, in the positive scenario, that will be just like it, not worse. We can increase the productivity because the CO2 on the plant concentrations is a positive outcome, especially for grass, the forage production. However, if you have in the pessimist, that means like 141 parts per million by 2050, it will be catastrophic for our agriculture. So it's just to summarize that the benefits that we can see, because sometimes the short term we cannot see, but after 5, 10, 20 years, the system is coming for, I can say, transition to consolidation and maintain. We increase the organic matter, we increase in the nutrient cycling, we actually reduce the dependency to rely on synthetic fertilizers such as urea, and we increase the water holding capacity, the straw accumulation in the system. It's a process based and it takes for a while. It's not, we cannot see very easy in the short term. So just to summarize my thoughts of my presentation, crop and livestock integration, especially under no-tillage system, we can, of course, increase the input efficiency and serve as a key strategy for conservation and rehabilitation by promoting the sustainable intensification of agriculture. And this integration, in our understanding, can enhance the ecosystem resilience, ensuring the long-term stability and contributing to the climate adaptation and mitigation. That's one of important goals of our research. And just to mention about our stakeholder or partners, that also from funding, from intellectual contribution that we have been receiving around the world. And special thanks. I hope to be in Pakistan again. Sounds amazing country, amazing people. And I have been talking a lot about Pakistan. We have so many things to learn from Pakistan. Brazil facing a lot of challenges, Pakistan, for more production and reduction of environment impact of agriculture. And definitely having so many things to learn. And also we think we having positive research and actions that we can share to exchange that knowledge. Just to end with these phrases that from Einstein that I think is really important for us to rethinking that how we're going to approach those problems that we have to use in creativity to figure out a better way and better future. So this is our program, my contact. And again, thank you so much for this opportunity. It's almost midnight here, but I'm very happy to be at this group and share a little bit about our study and things that we have been working as a researcher in Brazil.
Thank you so much, Professor, for sharing valuable insights. Now it is my privilege to introduce our distinguished keynote speaker, Professor Dr. Ishfaq Ahmed, Vice Chancellor of Wazi University, Dera Wazihan. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Daniel. It was very nice, very detailed and comprehensive. I have listened a lot about you, Daniel. One of your friend is sitting right here, Fida
Oh,
from Khaneval. You know him?
oh. No,
Fida.
yeah, just sometimes the accent I get hard. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
He
now
was
I
just
have a
mentioning.
good friend,
So, thank you very much
very
for
good
your.
friends.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they visited you, Kamar and Fida and, Dr. Abid, and, they were mentioning about that. So thank you very much. Thank you, Dr. Shaukat, organizers, and thank you all keynote speakers. I will, I'm actually out of university I already told some of my friends. It is a Cholistan, Daniel. It will be very interesting. This is the future of Pakistan agriculture. I should say like this. And lot of many more than 600,000 acres they are being you know make are being made and under cultivation by different departments. So here I'm looking after some of the potential areas how we can collaborate with the LIMS. LIMS is the Land Information Management System in Pakistan. So, and how Ghazi University can work and our student can work here. That's why I'm here.
Yeah, and I
And
also
this
hope
is
to
very
have
interesting
students
area.
from Pakistan in our country.
Yeah. This area is very potential area for future agriculture, and many of our colleagues and in this call the people they know about this. Again, say thanks to Dr. Shaukat and the organizers. Basically, this is very important. When he told me that we are organizing one of the webinar on climate change adaptation and mitigation. So, Daniel, I think this is first meeting, my meeting with you. But a lot of people they know you in Pakistan, and this climate change and adaptation. This is an area where I am working, and my colleagues are working from the last 30 years. Yeah, and I did my PhD. Then a lot of colleagues they are working on that. So this is very important area, and as you know, this is Pakistan is not in the infancy. We have learned a lot. There's a lot of awareness about climate change, and I used to talk to my colleagues that this is a time for the actions. Mitigation and adaptation, a lot of things we are talking about that, but this is the time actually how we can after developing some adaptations, we can go to the stakeholders and how we can develop some of the like advisory services, some of the apps, some of the actions, small interventions to cope with this very, very, uh, harsh climate and vulnerability. This whole from the last 10 years, the winter rainfalls have vanished, and our rabi crops they are at stake. The rain-fed area in Pakistan, it has a lot of contribution. If we say about wheat has a lot of contribution in our national food security, but that is basically missing from the last 1 decade, I should say. So these are the things. There's a lot of variability in the rainfall pattern, even in the monsoon, which is the main area and which we on rely on that. So I now I many time I talk all my colleagues that we should develop some of the, as I said, advisories, some of the action items with a very small intervention. We should go in the different areas and they should be very site specific. For example, as right now I'm in the south of Punjab, so there will be different type of advisories and the apps which should develop, and ultimately in the central Punjab, we have a different type of problems. In the northern area of the country, we have a different. So all these things basically we have to develop, and and that should be shared with the stakeholders. Then I think it will be there will be some result from that. So, very briefly, there are 2, 3 issues. As I'm very, there's not a, there's an issue of the internet and then some other issues. So I again thank to my colleagues and I just urge on that keep on talking on these things and there should be some solutions for that. This is a time for solutions. We should give the solution to the stakeholders and the farmers and all the other industry people that here we want to reach. And I used to say Dr. Fahd is here, and this is a time we are far ahead from the infancy and awareness. This is a time for action. This is the third time I'm saying. So thank you very much, organizers. Thank you very much, Daniel, and all the other colleagues. I have to beg leave from here, and then I have to go on the farm actually. Thank you
so much again.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Thank you, Dr. Shaukat.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. So nice of you, sir.
Okay. Thank you so much. Dear participants, our next speaker needs no introduction in the field of environmental engineering and climate resilience. It is an honor to introduce Dr. Umar from ITU Environmental Engineering Department, Istanbul Technical University.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me and you can see my presentation?
Yeah, Umar, we can see.
Yes, you are
Okay.
audible.
Okay. First of all, I would like to give a particularly warm welcome to all of you, especially the organizing committee of this webinar, and firstly, Dr. Shaukat. Then some of my close friends, my teachers, like Professor Chatta, Professor Tasnim, Professor Wajid, Professor Fat, and other valuable guests who I don't know. Welcome all of you. I would like to start with my presentation.
Also 150 कितने होते हैं?
First,
400
Is there any problem? Okay, can I continue?
Yeah, Dr. Umar, continue, please.
Okay, okay. My presentation is showing. Yes. Today I want to talk about wheat yield prediction affected climate change using this crop simulation model, and Islay and Nurda case in Turkey. This location is south of the Turkey, my homeland, some fields. My brief profile. I'm in the interdisciplinary studying molecular sciences, agricultural engineering department, and at MSc in environmental engineering, and my PhD is geographical information technology, and I try to work somewhere, especially as a specialist in the European Union project, and in some project like the Tarbil project. And I went to the United States, study with Garrett in continue to the PhD, and for postdoc I planned to go there again for 1 year, starting in August 2025, on regional wheat yield estimation from the climate change perspective, on Pythia, maybe on Craft. Most of you, maybe you know the Pythia and Craft, which is try to estimate the yield estimation, especially in the not homogeneity place. I mean, in the regional yield estimation. It's very hard to solve this problem around the crop modeling expertise and researchers. As an introduction, we start with the agricultural means is almost as old as the history of humankind and always preserve its importance. The others is the crop simulation models, especially for last 20, for maybe 30 years. It's improving this system, crop simulation models on the agricultural area, and also in the environmental somewhere. It can be run with scientific based things. Another thing, climate change is refers to long-term shifts in temperature, precipitation, and atmospheric patterns due to natural and anthropogenic factors. It means it's affected by the humanity, by the people, and the natural. The climate change, yes. Actually, as a generally, I start with what it means, the reality, and after that the system, and after that the model, and the last things in the what is the simulation. As you can see in this presentation, reality is the real world. A system is definition of every aspects of controlled and limited part of the real world, such as plants, leaf, and or the humanity body. Model is the simplified representation of the relevant system, and simulation is the building of mathematical models and the study of their behavior. Actually, as Mr. Daniel said, we struggle with integration of multi-system and multi-factor. It's very important because we need to evaluate all of the nature as the holistic approach. It can be solved the problem of climate change and others problems, global and regional problems we can solve, because all of these multi-factor components affected to each other. For example, the animal science and agronomy and crop psychology, physiology, soil science, and economics, everything's affected to each other. Schema of factors affecting agricultural research. At the same time, these my research things. Calibration, evaluation, and GIS, observed data, climate change, temperature, precipitation, remote sensing to see all of these changing and variety and management is very important factors to affect our research and nature. Yes, big problem is we try to, as a global humanity, try to solve the problem of the this climate change issue. It's very big problem because, as you can see on the screen, yes, the climate change, it's very big problem also in my country, especially the Mediterranean region. It's very big problem. All of the sector, not only the agricultural sector. As after SMIP 5 and SMIP 6, now we waiting to start and research with SMIP 7. Aims to extend these improvements further featuring higher resolution, more complex climate and Earth system processes. By the way, according to United Nations on Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, 60% of Turkey's land area is prone to desertification, unfortunately. We need to more do things about this as the academic issue. We need to more research about that. Yes, you can see and the difference between SMIP 5, 6, and 7, which is expected. It's not only using right now, I think. Time frame, scenario types, resolution, key process, and other things. We can compare the advantage and disadvantage of all of these climate things. Yes, we had a lot of relevant questions about the nature and for food, food and nutrient things. For example, what yield can we achieve from the wheat field? How much nutrients should be applied? What is the influence of climate change, and how can we increase food security? These four questions is very important questions. All of the academic sector and in university and research institutes try to solve the problems like these questions. Yeah. I just want to talking about my research, which is the south of the Turkey I applying. As fields, a 3-year field investigation was carried out at the experimental farm of Gaziantep region. as whether we try to collect all of the parameters like rainfall, solar radiation, maximum and minimum temperature, etc. And as a soil, it has medium organic matter content and other things. The need for the this set crop modeling, we try to obtain by the making analyzing on the fields as the soil analyzes. As the crop varieties, generally wheat, as the Golia variety was grown in the Mediterranean winter season, we use it. Some characteristic features of the region of my research. Actually, maybe you know the Anatolia region is very rich and it's very important place to about the history. Mesopotamia, maybe you know Mesopotamia region is located near to here. We try to understand and try to collect some of the things like climate and soil and try to understand the annual precipitation here, what is it, and altitude is above the sea level is higher. Yes, not much more, but it's affected all research. Yeah, as the fields and location is, you can see in the south of the Turkey, as I said before. We try to collect all of the data from these fields. Actually, can you see the point totally eight? Yes, totally 8.8 fields. We collected the data and then evaluate on this set crop modeling. I will mention I will talking about this in the next presentation. Yeah, Tarbin Station Center here. These stations taking from taking especially climate parameters from the fields. It's very big project. It's national project in our country. And I try to use and try to benefit from this project to taking some climate parameters. According to station, my research area, my yes, my field, we can see as the picture, taking the picture sometimes. And normal view of point and 10 times closer point of view of the field, you can see. So from sowing, start to emergence and floral initiation, and mostly emergence and first node heading, and you can see the some the close picture you can see, and then anthesis and maturity and harvest you can see on the picture. Yeah, the important things for collecting data for crop modeling, it's observed and measured data. Like leaf area index and other things to taking some collecting some sample for biomass calculation. We need and we try to dry all of the samples in the laboratory and then we scaled all of this. Collecting data from the Tarbin internet site and field. As you can see, I collected the Golia variety from the field and then try to dry it and then scaled, and for preparing these data to upload this set crop modeling. Yes, I'm trying to create the experiment. As you can see, it starts from 5 number to 5 number to 20, maybe. Yes, all of these fields, my research field. I selected between this field because some of the fields I cannot healthy and I cannot good data collecting, and I neglected it, and which I try to select the field which is especially the data quality is very high one. Yeah. Yeah, climate projection data, and I obtained from the Turkish meteorological station especially projection data. And RCP 4.5 and 8.5 for midterm and end term. We try to search on CO2 different yeah, a value of the CO2 according to this. Yeah, analysis because as you know, in the first 2 years we need to find the genetic coefficient first year to make the calibration, and the second year to make the evaluation. Then we by the glue calculating system in the this set, we calculate it and try to find the Goliath's genetic coefficients. Yeah. Yeah, according to evaluation as the result of the models analysis, it's predicted that climate change will reduce productivity in all regions by the middle and the end of the century as a result of increasing temperatures despite the increase in rainfall. As you know, I mentioned that I especially try to work on the 2 districts of Gaziantep city, the 2 districts of Gaziantep city, where is the south of the Turkey. One of them, the name of this, the Islahiye. At the same time, this Islahiye and Nurdağ, maybe you remember 2 years ago, in our country had a very big earthquake, and more than 50,000 people died, and these two region, 2 district, it's very collapsed from the earthquake. This region. Yes, we can continue through this. In Islahiye, there was an average decrease of, especially in yield, 60.55, and Nurdağ was the last affected region with the decrease in 13.77. Due to the temperature is increase in the middle and both the middle and end of the century, yield declines like this, and especially for Islahiye, decreasing is very high, especially for RCP 8.5 in the mid-century and end century. as you can see on the table in detail scenario, I'm sorry, it's written in Turkish, but I think you can understand its scenario, and according to this, the this GCM and other things. Yeah, analyzes result for mid-century as the Tmax, Tmin, and precipitation. It's very changing in the related region. It's I don't want to mention in detail, but as I can see that especially temperature will be very increase in the region is the near to Mediterranean region because and is very affected. And not only mid-century and also with the end century, and for both these two districts, the Tmax, the temperature, maximum temperature, minimum temperature, and precipitation, it's very affected, affecting the Turkey regions. Yeah, this is the for end of the century in Islahiye region and the Nurdağ region districts, especially RCP, the worst scenario, which is RCP 8.5, it's very high, increasing about for next next 100 years in the future of our region. Yeah, I'm after the my research, something that I try to write some paper. As you can see here, it's very valuable information, and I share with some research institute and policy makers these papers, and we try to make something about that, inshallah. Yeah, this is my certificate, something. Yeah, the first one on the left hand up, and you can see the art of modeling I took from the Wageningen University, and then you can see and thanks to the Pakistan AGMIP and this set team, some of them with Mr. Chatta came to Turkey and give us some course about how can we use this set crop modeling. Thanks again to my brothers from the Pakistan researcher. Thank you. Yes, my presentation is like that. Thank you for listening and for your attention. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Umar, for your valuable insights. Your research and perspectives are truly instrumental in shaping sustainable agriculture practices. Now, moving to our next speaker, I would like to invite Dr. Tasneem Khalid to talk about potential impact of climate change on the rice wheat cropping system, a case study. Over to you, sir.
Hello, sir Tasneem. Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible, sir.
Dr. Tasneem, sir, you are not audible.
Can you see my screen?
Just wait, sir. It will appear. Just wait. Not yet.
Can you see my screen? No?
No, sir, it's not working, I think. Can you share again?
Can you see? No.
Not yet, sir.
Dr. Shaukat, I think you have my presentation. Can you share from your system?
Okay, sir. Let me check.
I don't know what is the problem here. Actually, I received message for sharing, but it is not visible also.
Is it visible, sir?
Yes.
Okay, please, sir. Carry on, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Sorry for inconvenience. Thank you for organizers and very good morning and welcome to our overseas friends. The topic of my talk is impact of climate change on rice wheat cropping system of Punjab. As you know, Punjab is the breadbasket of Pakistan, and mostly we have three main cropping systems: rice wheat, cotton wheat, and the third one is the miscellaneous, where we have sugarcane, maize, etc. with wheat. Rice wheat cropping system is very important for our country because After cotton, rice is our major commodity, which we exported to the world, fine rice especially. Please next, Shakat. Okay. First of all, I would like to acknowledge the contributions of my team scientists. We work under the kind leadership of Professor Dr. Shafaq Ahmed, who was the principal investigator at University of Agriculture, Faisalabad. Presently, he is Honorable Vice Chancellor, Ghazi University. We have the resource person from US, Professor Garrett Hugenboom. At that time, he was working in Washington State University, presently, I think, in Florida. And other scientists from different institutes of Pakistan. Professor Dr. Shakil Ahmed from BZU, Professor Dr. Aftab Wajid from UF, Professor Dr. Wajid Naseem, who was at ComSat at that time, now in IUB. Next, please. Sorry, I think move. Shakataya, you have to change the. Okay, rice wheat cropping zone is the breadbasket of Pakistan. It has well-developed irrigation system, which is used for irrigation and also receives 4 to 5 to 1200 millimeter annual rainfall. But major source of irrigation is irrigation system. In this zone, we have about 1 million farm families. Rice wheat zone comprises around 1.1 million hectares of land. Next, please. So in this zone, we worked on 2 crops. In summer season, because there is a rice crop, and in winter or Rabi season, there is a wheat. And both crops are very important. One is our staple food, and the second one is the export commodity. So rice is the second staple grain food of Pakistan, and it contributes about 2.7% in the value addition of GDP, agricultural GDP. And it occupies about 2.3 million hectares with 5.5 million tons of production. On the other hand, wheat is the staple grain food of Pakistan, contributes 10.1% in value addition of agricultural GDP, and occupies around 8.7 million hectares with 24.23 million tons of production. We have the challenges in this zone. The major challenge is climate change and variability. Non-availability of certified seed, lack of improved production technology, water availability and productivity issues, soil-related issues, emissions of greenhouse gas, especially in puddled soil, that is the common way of raising rice. Wheat problems, both crops are exhaustive. Delay in sowing of wheat due to the late maturing of fine or basmati varieties. And usually we have terminal heat stress in wheat. Insect pests and diseases are also a problem. Availability and quality issues of inputs. These are the major problems we are facing in this zone. Next, please. This project area is in Punjab province of Pakistan, and we have almost 5 districts: Sialkot, Gujranwala, Hafizabad, Sheikhupura, and Mandi Bahauddin and Faisalabad also. Next, please. About the methodology, we used data from 3 experiments, field experiments on rice and wheat for model parameterization. yield and socioeconomic data were collected by surveying of 155 farmers in the 5 districts of this zone. 5 general circulation models, GCMs, under RCP 8.5 were used to generate future weather data. 2 crop models, decision support system for agrotechnology transfer, and agriculture productivity simulator, EPSIM, DSAT and EPSIM, were used to simulate yield to assess the climate change impacts. The third model, TOA-MD, was used to quantify the climate vulnerability and adaptation strategy in the study area. Next, please. Following GCMs with RCP 8.5 were used for mid-century. Almost the introduction has been given by my friend Umar. He also used same GCMs. Next, please. This is the pictorial view of maximum temperature, minimum temperature, and rainfall in the project area for rice season. Next, please. And this is the condition of climatic conditions in the wheat season. Usually we have high temperature in rice in summer and low temperature in wheat season. Most of the rainfall is received in the rice growing period. Next, please. These are the climate projections of integrated assessment region. That one are the maximum temperature. The light green is the minimum temperature, and the line shows the rainfall received during the period for 5 districts. Next. Overall, there would be increase, and from these projected scenarios, we can conclude that there would be increase in of 2.8 degrees C in day and 2.2 degrees C in night temperature in Punjab for mid-century 2040 to 2069. And there will be increase in carbon dioxide concentration is expected from 390 to 571 ppm. Next, please. So for both crops, we use 2 crop models. Those were calibrated against the treatment nitrogen 200 kg per hectare for rice, and transplanting date was 1st July. And 3 cultivars for rice were calibrated for obtaining genetic coefficients for these famous and popular fine rice cultivars, Basmati 385, Super Basmati, and Basmati 2000. On the other hand, 110 nitrogen kg per hectare treatment was used for model calibration for wheat, and 3 cultivars were used, Sahar 2006, Lasani 2008, and Faisalabad 2008. These were also very popular wheat cultivars in this zone. Next, please. Next, please. Okay, after calibration, the model performance was assessed against 155 farmers' data, which were obtained through survey. In the survey, we collected all information about the crop husbandry and yield levels. So after calibration and validation of models with the experimental data, then models were run with the farmer data. And we can see the indicators that DSAT and EPSIM simulate very well, which were quite satisfied with the observed data set, and RMSC and DSTAT and R-square values are presented in this table. Next, please. Okay, after calibration, validation, and further validation with the farmers' data, these both models were used to simulate the rice and wheat yield under future scenarios. And I previously mentioned that we have used 5 GCMs for this future scenarios. This picture shows about the rice scenario, and both models simulate that there will be reduction in future. DSAT shows 15.2% and Epsom shows 7.2% for rice if we keep the same cultivars and same production technology. Then there will be decrease in the rice yield in future. And all this colorful graph shows that first one is the base temperature. This one, if you can see my, I don't know if you can see my cursor or not, but first picture, first indication shows the base temperature, base yield, and the all other 5 are the GCM production yields under future scenarios. And all these future scenarios shows that there will be decrease. No doubt, extent of decrease is different, but all GCM shows that there will be decrease in the yield of rice in future with the RCP 8.5 and these global circulation models. Next, please. Same is the situation will be under the wheat. Again, both models are agree to simulate that about 14% will be decrease in wheat as shown by DSAT and 12% decrease as shown by the Epsom. And again, the situation is same that extent of decrease is different, but at least all simulations with all global scenarios, there will be decrease in wheat yield. So it will be the big threat for food security in Pakistan, especially, and the world also, because we are exporting rice to the world. Next, please. Okay, after assessment of these climate change impacts, we try to adapt this changing climate and modify our production technology with these options. For example, we increase nitrogen per hectare 15% in rice and 25% wheat. We modify the sowing density 50% increase, you can say, because we transplant plants in the rice, so 15% increase in plant population in rice and 30% increase in seed rate of wheat. In future, we will have scarcity of water, so we use this technique that we decreased water 15% in rice and 25% application of water in wheat. Again, we modify the sowing dates. We decrease mean, for example, the current sowing date was 1st July in rice. The adapted sowing date will be 5 days delay, yani 5th July of next for future, and 15 days delay in sowing of wheat. Usually our common sowing of wheat is in 15th November. So if we have to adapt the future climate, we have to delay 15 days in sowing. So these were the techniques which we were going to test in modeling and simulation studies. What will be the effect of these modifications in production technology on rice and wheat yield? And for economic analysis, we also used some variables, average household persons, increase, all these are shown in the column. So we made these modifications in our social data, which were obtained from the farm, and then we do the economic analysis. Next, please. So these were the relative yields of rice and wheat with the both models under future predictions. These were the R square values, shows the the comparison of simulated and observed yields for under different climate scenarios. Next, please. Okay, we asked three questions from the models. For example, if we are going in future with the same production technology for both crops without adaptation and even no trend and change in technology, then what will be the situation in future? Model shows that only 3% farms will be in the profit gainers and 18% will be the losers in case of DSAT, and even gainers about both model shows that near about 25% will be the gainers. Overall net loss will be the 15.22% in DSAT and Epsom 14.62. So overall will be loss if we continue this production technology without adopting the new trend and even in technology. Next, please. The second question was that there will be no adaptation. You can say climate smart interventions, but the only technology change will contribute. Is there any contribution of this technology in the future? So with the trends, gainers were 91.36% in DSAT and 91.12% in Epsom. Gains percent of mean net farm return 88.6% in DSAT and 90.18% in Epsom. Losers will be 3.2% in MNFR for DSAT and 3.35% in Epsom. But net loss will be 85% in DSAT as indicated by DSAT simulations and 86.84% with the simulations of Epsom under the future climate change scenarios. Next, please. These are the overall calculations on the zone base, and the previous one also percentage on the zonal base. So if with adaptation, suppose that adaptation will be 84% in DSAT with the DSAT simulations and 38% in Epsom. So what will be the changes in future? Overall, this table shows that adopters will gain more profit and reduce the poverty, and also mean return will be more with the adaptations, and adapter will be the in profit. Next, please. This is the pictorial view of the previous table. Next, please. Okay, on the basis of this study, we can conclude that day and night temperature in study area would increase by 2.8%, 8 degrees Celsius and 2.2 degrees Celsius day and night respectively for mid-century. DSAT performed relatively better than Epsom in simulation of both crops. In rice wheat system, aggregated gains and losses without adaptation, no trend were 24.8% and 26% for DSAT and Epsom respectively. Next, please. In rice wheat system, aggregated gains and losses without adaptation with trend were 91.3% and 91.1% in DSAT and Epsom respectively. In rice wheat system, overall adoption rate were 84% and 88.3% with adaptation for DSAT and Epsom respectively. Next, please. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your valuable insights. Now we have
Dr. B.
Doctor.
Ali, Mohammed.
Now I would like to invite our next speaker, Dr. Mohammed Ali. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much. I'm trying to share my slides with Dr. Shaukat. So can you wait for a while, please?
Okay, Dr. Ali, please send me.
If you have any other speaker who is also going to be part of this webinar, can you ask him to go on? Because I need few minutes.
Dr. Ali, you are the last one, and then we will move toward the concluding session.
Okay.
We may have the question answer session in the meantime with the earlier speakers.
Okay, in the meantime, we can take question from the audience. You can ask from our speaker, please.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Maybe you have different time in your countries. What I'm going to share is the title is Redefining Agriculture, the role of agroecological innovations, existing challenges, and pathways to sustainability. Actually, I am linking this with my recently completed project that was about learning needs of agriculture extension agents regarding agroecology in Punjab, Pakistan. So, as you people are talking about climate change and adaptation, now in this case, we have more problems. On the other side, we need urgent solutions through suitable modifications for sustainable development. Now, this successful transition needs people-centered social approaches like agroecology, which would
Hello.
lead to sustainable agriculture and food system as this. Can you hear me, please?
Can you share your slide?
Yes, I am trying to share with you.
Just send me on my WhatsApp or email. I will share with the audience.
Okay. Have you received?
Not yet.
I don't know why my laptop is not working. That's why I have opened my mobile phone. Sorry for that.
Okay, just share with me. Just share with me. I will share with the audience.
WhatsApp because I have attached the file with you.
Just give me some. Now it is visible to all. Uh, Please carry on.
Yeah. Can you go to the next slide, please?
Okay.
Yeah. So I was talking about agroecology, and this approach is widely recognized according to FAO and high-level panel, and it have potential to meet some of the SDGs. Now, why? Because our traditional or conventional farming has degraded the socio-economic fabric of different part of the world. So now the main is to ecosystem for sustainable production and saving the environment by decreasing the harmful impacts of different ingredients. In this case, now the frontline workers who are the extension workers and they are also called change agents, they have to approach farmers and change agroeconomy. Now, this literature suggests the extension workers lack competencies to mentor, to guide, and facilitate farmers. So this approach is focused on productivity and sustainability. Emerged in 1960s, focus on interaction with like organisms. And then, can you go to the next slide, please? Next. Next slide. Now, the significance of agroecology to enhance productivity and sustainability. Actually, this optimizes the use of available resources like our plants, animals, soil, water, climate, and people, but not their behavior. So this is dilemma that we change the behavior of farmers towards uh, nature positive solutions like agroecology or other approaches. Next slide. As you people were talking uh, about its climate change impact, so in 2020, Abbas and Mayo, they have reported that increase in mean temperature, minimum temperature, has affected adversely, negatively, the growth stages and final yield of rice crops. Similarly, it has affected wheat crop and pulses as well. Next slide. So I'm skipping a few slides so that I directly go to my project and its finding. Can you go to the next slide, please. Next slide. So here is the project. As I told you, that was about learning needs of agriculture extension agents, Agri College in Punjab. So this was one of the innovative, in a sense that this area or agroecology was overlooked by the researchers at the local and national level. So I thought that is a good opportunity to bridge the literature gap. And on the other side, the extension agents, as I told you, those are supposed to be change agents, are under pressure in the current situation to guide and facilitate farmers to produce more without realizing the harmful impacts on their traditional farming on social environment of the country. That's why this study was designed, and it was expected that the findings were useful for policymakers, uh, public sector agriculture extension officials, and researchers. And on the next slide, I have also shared these findings with the concerned agriculture sector, Punjab, to consider capacity building of their extension agents at provincial level about agroecology. So in this way, we have a trained manpower or skilled extension staff to guide the farmers, and they're if they are trained, this training could be replicated to other areas or at the country level. So here we should know what is training or learning needs assessment. Actually, it determines, next slide, please. It determines individuals' present level of competency, knowledge, ability in one or more areas, and then compared to the needed competency standard for their or other roles. In other way, we can say it is a process of identifying whether or not a training gap exists and what is required. So on the next slide, you would see the specific objective of this research. Next slide, please. The first was to examine awareness, attitude, and knowledge level of the respondents. I mean, extension agents about agroecology. Dr. Shaukat, can you go to the next slide where you would see specific objectives?
Yeah, you are on specific objectives, sir.
Okay. The second objective was to analyze required competencies by the respondents. And the third, to assess perceived significance of learning about agroecology. And the last, problem competencies about agroecology. So I have designed my questionnaire with the help of available literature. And then that was, can you go to the next slide where you would see methodology? So pre-testing was done in Sahiwal Division, and for that purpose, we have collected data from 40 extension workers. And let me tell you, those 40 extension workers, and their findings were not incorporated in the final administration of or analysis of the data. We have collected data from Rawalpindi, Faisalabad, Lahore, Multan, DG Khan, and Sargodha. And purposive sampling technique was used to select extension agents. So around 5,000 extension workers are there who are working in different divisions of the Punjab level. So by following Kretz and Morgan model, we have collected data from 400 agriculture extension workers. So in our questionnaire, we use different Likert scale items which 1 to 5 Likert scale was used. 1 means strongly disagree, 2 strongly agree. So it was a yardstick to know their learning needs and knowledge. And in few questions, then we, in order to answer those questions, we transform data into 3 levels, that was low, moderate, and high, whenever it was required. And SPSS was used to analyze the data. So you can see in the next slide glimpse of different visits. So if you go to the research findings, we have found that 86.5% of the extension agents were partially aware about agroecology. And no one was unaware about that. Although 13.5%, which means 54 of the extension workers were fully aware about it. Why? Because some of their research was related to agroecology, or they got trainings from Pakistan or outside the country. So surprisingly, their attitude was, if you go to the attitude, results of the attitude, next slide, please. So you would see an overwhelming majority of the extension workers had high attitude towards agroecology. Why? Because uh, uh, they thought it is the future of agriculture. Uh, Adopt or go through this, because people are to link to the past, linking to the past, and if you if coverage level, 94% of the respondents had moderate level of knowledge in agroecology. Some of these slides I have skipped because that paper is in progress to submit somewhere. So if we talk about the barriers, go to the next slide, please. Barriers in agriculture, and in 6 they said that it's difficult to discriminate among small holding farmers. And there were a few others like personal infrastructure that and it's difficult to pronounce if they go for personal learning, and age factor, because some of the extension agents were about to retire within a couple of years, some would be a couple of months. So if we conclude, they were partially aware, as I told you, they had moderate level of knowledge about agroecology. Nevertheless, they had highly favorable attitude towards agroecology. So extension agents need competencies in program planning to its implementation and even communication through IT or advanced forms. So go slide where you would raise different awareness programs about agroecology, and we have to train extension agents at lower level, at least subdivisional level, that is the C level, so that they can have expertise and they can properly guide the farming community. And then they also need to use digital tools and techniques. So in this regard, they need periodical workshops and hand-on trainings. And another important recommendation is to have separate wing to promote and implement agroecology among farming community. So this wing could be composed of experts on agroecology and agriculture extension professional agents. And there, on the next slide, you would see other recommendations. So the first and important one is to have linkages, productive linkages with research and educational institutions. And the second is this area needs more research, and we don't have contents or training material developed by different experts. Another one is to promote agroecology through media, print, digital, and social media. And we need to have, next slide, please. We need to have promotional plots at the villages level so that the farmers can see the result and method demonstration of agroecology. So in this way, we can promote agroecological approaches or practices among farming community. So thank you so much. Any question? Dr. Shaukat, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Let me check if someone has any question about. Okay, we have some time. If someone has any question with any speaker, with Dr. Umar, Dr. Daniel, you can ask.
So I have a question.
Okay, sir, go on.
Yeah, I want to ask Daniel if they are working on carbon crediting, or do they have any example that they have generated carbon credits from the integrated livestock and cropping system?
Sir, I think Daniel is not with us because he is in USA and now it would be around 2 a.m. We'll forward to Dr. Daniel, sir.
Okay, thank you. If they can share their presentations with us, it will be great.
Yeah, inshallah, we will share.
Okay, thank you.
Any questions from other audience?
Yeah, Akakhel was asking if there is any certificate for this webinar.
Yeah, we will provide each certificate.
Yes,
Yeah, here we will provide you.
thank
Okay,
you. We
and
will be waiting for. Thank you.
Wajin Nassim. Sir, are you here? Okay.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. As we could conclude this enriching session, I would like to invite Professor Dr. Muhammad Shaukat to deliver the vote of thanks. Over to you, sir.
Oh, thank you so much. Once again, thank you so much, our international speaker. Okay, Dr. Tasneem has one question. Please, sir.
Sorry, I was on mute. Is Dr. Umar from Turkey is there?
I think he is here. Dr. Umar, can you hear
Yes,
me?
yes, I am here.
Okay, he is here.
Okay. I have one question from you that have you integrated the remote sensing data with model in your research?
Not exactly. Actually, we try to find sometimes the NDVI for finding the leaf area index, but we failed to this method, and then we didn't use the remote sensing, and we try to collect the data about leaf area index by the machine, the spatial leaf area index machine.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, someone else have any question with Dr. Umar presentation? You can ask. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. That was wonderful event, and this was the first one online event.
We may take the online group photo and all people can turn on their cameras and we can take a screenshot as a group photo if it is possible.
Okay, sir, let me check if
But Dr. Fahad, your face is not completely visible.
Sir, are we visible?
No, your camera screen is small, I think.
Yes, sir, it's old laptop.
No, no.
That is why it's not. But Sir Fahad didn't bought me a new laptop.
okay, I just getted the screenshot of this frame, and I will share in the group. Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Daniel. No, he is sleeping. And Dr. The next doctor, sir, Dr. Tasneem Khalik sir, so nice of you, spend our time. Dr. Khair, uh, sir, Dr. Fazlu sir, thank you, sir, for your support, for your time. And the other colleague from University of Agriculture, Faisalabad, from the Dr. Vishwa. Very good.
Thank you, sir, for such effort. Thank you.
In coming weeks, we will plan another event like this one was, and please stay connected. And thank you once again so much.
A heartfelt thank you to you all distinguished speakers, esteemed participants, and organizers for making this event a success. We hope this discussion sparks further research and collaboration towards a more sustainable future. Stay connected, keep keep working towards sustainability. We look forward to in our future events. Allah Hafiz and have a wonderful day.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Allah Hafiz.
Good day.